Yo, Tio here, and today I want to talk about a very important thing to do when it comes to optimizing low ticket offer, and the number one mistake I keep saying over and over, right? So I want you to avoid this mistake because sometimes you make decision on the funnel when it comes to upsells, and that can have a big impact over time, right? So you want always to make sure that once you call a winner on a split test, it's one that's going to impact your business in a positive way. So I'm going to show you a typical example, right? So this is an offer in wellness and doing zero for this offer. That one is doing close to 10 million in ARR, so annual recurring revenue. This for this type of audience, it's usually harder to. It's not like BizUp who can get like 60, 80, 100 plus AUV. Here's like mainly like women, so older woman, so it's tougher to get a higher AOV. So with 47, close to 50 AOV, we're very happy with this. Uh, and yeah, I'm going to show you what are the typical mistakes people do, right? So on this split test, as you can see, I've got on the left side, I got the variance. So like so, let me take this out. This is the variant and this is the control, right? The only difference between the variant and the control is that on the control, the price point is, let me see, it's $97, right? So this is the price point on the control versus the variant where the only difference is it's $97, right? So any marketer who's starting, they will compare this and they're gonna be like, oh my God, like $97, it's crushing, it's getting in here. It's like, wow, we're getting 18% take rate on that. So anybody would be like, if you're only comparing it at the page level, anybody would be like, okay, let's just call 97 winner and just call it for today, right? The thing is, like here they're comparing that against 147, which here is 11%, 11.71%, right? So, and that's the biggest mistake people do because they're analyzing the split test at the page level, but they're not analyzing the split test at the path level, right? Because if you check what's happening, if you actually take the data of all the page views from the variant and the revenue, maybe I could put different colors here, but if you take the amount of page views and the amount of revenue generated by this single path of the variant versus the amount of unique page views and sales of the control, and you put these next to each other. So I got this application that shows you like the amount, right? So I'm going to show you here. So boom. All right. So as you can see here, 26,000. 26,000 is this number as you can see here, right? It's right there, right? So 26,000 are the amount of unique page view for the control. This is the amount of sales. So as you can see here, and then this amount here is the revenue that I just showed here, right? This compared to the variant here again, you can see the amount of people here again. The amount of sales are close to 800, so this number, and then the revenue is this one, and this is this in aggregate, right? So when you compare these all together, what you can see is that the control, which is the one with the price point of 147, it's bringing way more revenue. This is like revenue per visitor, so how much a visitor brings per session. So let's say like you have a unique visitor and they go through the whole funnel path. This is what they're going to bring you on average, right? So one unique visitor doing a session on the funnel is going to give you on average here $1.41. If you compare this against the variant you can see here, it's $1.23. So even though this is better compared to this price point on the OTO1, if you take into account how much revenue each path are bringing, by path I mean the path of the variant versus the path of the control, here the variant is bringing less revenue compared to the control, right? So that's the biggest mistake, because people always they do a split test and they analyze just at the page level how much AOV contribution the upsell is bringing, but they're not seeing the down metrics, right? The down metrics being, if we update this price, it's going to have an impact on the downsell, is going to have an impact on the OTO2, right? And anything below that. So you need to take into account the whole path, right? This is the whole path in here versus the whole path in here. And that's where you can make better decisions when you come to a CRO. So here you might think like, okay, yeah, so let's call the controller winner because it's bringing more revenue, right? This is what we want down the line. But we got a great insight on that because we saw that this price point is doing very well to get more people on our upsell one. The thing is, because our downsell here, so this is like $97 a year. As you can see here, this one, this is a year. And the downsell here is like $67 for 6 months, which is kind of a bad deal, right? Because on the control is like $147 a year, and the downsell is $67 for 6 months. So here it makes sense because this is a good deal. That's why we're getting like 9% take rate on that. But if you compare that to $97, then, if you go from $97 a year and the downsell is like, hey, pay $67 for 6 months, it's not such a good downsell. I mean, the idea here for this downsell, this one and this one, is that will be like a one-time payment, so there's no recurring. So that kind of remove the objection of commitment for them. So that's the thing, because now we know that this does super well, this price point, and now all we need to do is just update this downsell, right? Because I'm going to call this the winner. This is the winner for sure, right? Because it is bringing more revenue per visitor. That's the key metric. It's like revenue per visitor, right? Revenue per visitor. Or people also call it like earning per session, right? Earning per session, which is pretty much equal to, in a very simple way, the revenue of the path. By path, again, I mean this, right? So sales per JK page, OTO1, downsell, OTO2, divided by unique visitors, right? And that gives you the perfect ratio between AOV and CVR, right? So that is the gold metric you want to follow, when it comes to CRO and making better decisions. All right, I don't want the video to be too long. But yeah, so pretty much knowing that in here, I'm just also showing you how we can make better decisions based on the test, right? So now again, we know that this price point, like I showed, this one is great. So now all we need to do is just improve this downsell, just update it. That way we bring more contribution here while having a very, very strong take rate on the OTO1, right? So we just need to find, this is the winner. So we're going to keep running the control because it's earning more per unique visitor. But for the next split test, what we need to do is relaunch $97. Again, I'm going to relaunch this. But we just need to update the downsell. That way we make sure that we turn something that is bad here, into something that is good. right? With a better downsell and bring more revenue per visitor, right? So that's how you make better decisions when it comes to CRO. And again, so to recap this video, when it comes to CRO, so number one mistake is don't just analyze the funnel based on a single metric like that. You want to base your decision based on the actual path, right? So all the revenue that is generated here, right? Versus this, right? So that's how it's done. Hopefully you learned something from this video and you won't make this mistake. Again, next time you do a split test, my suggestion to you is to have two paths, right? I do it here on ClickFunnels. So I have like one path for the variance and I have one path for the control, right? That way you can compare the two paths and then you can compare how much revenue per visitor the control path is bringing versus how much revenue per visitor the variant path is bringing, right? So you can make decision on the whole funnel, right? And not just at the page level here, right? So you want to avoid that. This is the typical mistake people do because, you know, this impacts all the downsell metrics, right? You want to always make decision based on the whole path, right? So hopefully that's clear. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe, like. I also made a new masterclass on how to architect low ticket offers. So I'm going to put the link in the video, like at the bottom of the video. So feel free to have a look at it now. All right, that was it for today. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.
Before I forget, so when you compute this, the control with the $147 price point upsell versus the one with the $97 price point upsell, and then you can calculate this, this is going to show you that the probability that the variant, which is a $97 upsell, beats the control is 3% when it comes to revenue per visitor, right? So that's a clear indicator that we got StatSig when it comes to judging which path is bringing most of the revenue. So yeah, as you can see here, we're making a call on something that is proven. So yeah, this is using this really cool tool. So you can see StatSig, right? So here's clearly indicating that the, again, probability that the variant with the $97 price point upsell, that path has a 3% chance of bringing more revenue than the control path with the $147 upsell. So yeah, I hope that's clear. And yeah, just wanted to add that as well at the end of the video.